Hi, welcome. So in this video, we are going to look at other functions like strings. In the last video, we looked at date and time functions. So you can always go back and check out the last video and previous videos. And in this one, we are focusing on strings. So you would learn to use functions like left, right, concatenate, length, replace. So if you have been following the series right from the start, you would see that some of these functions, we have already seen them in Excel. So you just try to be drawing the analogies and also reinforcing your learning as we go ahead. So let's just go straight to the computer and explore some of the string functions. So we are here and we are just going to do some string commands, some common string functions. And remember, string functions are really so many, so we can't do all, but with this you're just going to be guided, and then from there you can take on and just keep adding one function on top of another, one function on top of another. So here is our database that we created. So if you haven't created this database before, there's an earlier video called Create the Database, where you just take a script that is shared in that video, run it, and you have this exact same database where you have the staff demographic table, and then you have the staff salary table. So if you open up the staff demographic table, you would see that we have staff ID, first name, last name, age, gender. And then if you open up the staff salary table, you'll see you have staff ID, job title, salary. So in this video, we are just going to look at a couple of string functions, and the most common one is usually the length function. So the most common one is the length. So there are times you'd want to get the length of a string. So let's just get this our staff demographic database, and then we just try to get like the length of the first name. So just to show you how it's used, so select, then we can just say first name. So we have first name, so first name, then you can now just take the length tool. So we want to get the length, and then we are going to say length, L-E-N, that's the length, L-E-N-G-T-H. So we just want to keep it like the same caps with the commands, and then like in here now we can still take the first name. So I just want us to see the first name, and then we see the length of each first name. So remember, select just makes you to decide on the columns that you want to see. So we've seen that in earlier videos. You can always go back. So let's just give it a name, maybe first name length, or length of first name, length of name. Let's just make it short. So length of name, and then now we are saying from which table. From, now we call the table name staff demographic. So our objective is to have a first column, there's just the first name, and then the next column is the length of the name, and then we give it an alias so that the column name is not just this function but this one. So we've seen this in previous videos, so I'll just run this, and then we see that Michelle has 7 characters, James has 5 characters, Nina has 4 characters. So you've used the length function and you're able to get this clearly. So let's go on to the next one, which is the concatenate. So I'll just go through these functions and introduce them to you so that you can always refresh and then also do your research and be able to get more functions, but you'll just start seeing a pattern in them. So let's say we want to concatenate two things, so we can just go again to our table, select, let's say we take select concat. So I'll just close this one here, then we select concat, and then you see it opens up. So what do we want to concatenate? Just like we saw in Excel, there is a first string and then there is a second string. So the first string is the first name, and then the second string now is the a space, because you want to leave a space between the first name and the last name. We've seen this in Excel before, so you can always go back and check. It's good to go back and take this series from the earlier Excel tutorials, because we're trying to build the basis from there, since Excel is most common and most popular for most people to use. So let me see, select concat. Okay, yes, the table, of course. So we have to get the table from now staff demographic table, just like this one here. So let me just copy this here to save time, and now we can run this. And another interesting thing to do might be just to see what the first name and the last name look like, so that we are just checking against what we are doing. So let's just call first name here, first name, last name, and then the concatenate function. So let's run that, and then we see we have the first name Michelle, the last name Ambe, then now the concatenated name is Michelle. So we could also give this an alias, so that it's not just, you know, as that you don't just have the column title like this. So we've seen this earlier, so we can just give it maybe full name, and then when we run it, we get this first name, last name, and then the full name. Okay, so we now move on to Substring. So let me just show you Substring. Yeah, Substring. And then I'm sure you must have seen this somehow, Substring, but maybe you've not used it before. So we'll just show you what it actually does, and it actually takes in 3 arguments in this case. So let's just run an example here, and then you're going to see how it works. So I'll just take maybe Substring from job title. I just want to slice the job titles. So let me just first write the job titles out as they are, so that you can see first, and then we go to job title. Now we say the next thing now is the substring. So substring, then we have now the job title again. So what we want to get the substring from is from the job title, and then we start from position 2. So we want to start from the second position, and then maybe we want 6 characters from there. So I'll just show you, and now we can close this. We can also give it an alias, so that it's not just the column has an interesting title somehow. So we just call it maybe string, maybe sliced, because that's actually what the substring does. So it actually slices your string. So I'll just call it maybe sliced, and then now we have to clearly state the table. So from which table? From staff salary this time around. So we want to get it from staff salary. So let's run this now, and you see what we get. So we actually slicing after the second character. We slice 6 characters away, and then that's what we bring out. So you see here for HR, it just did the R, and then it brought that in. So it's just, so after this, from the second AC, then you take 5 characters away. From AN, you take 6 characters away. So that's what the substring does. Now another thing we've seen in Excel, you can also look at here. So you just keep matching your learning, is the left and right. So if you want to get maybe the left and right from the staff salary job title, maybe you want to get the first 2 left characters. So substring, you just want to extract a substring beginning from here and ending here. So it's like the middle. You can use it like the middle in Excel. Yeah, your mid in Excel, and then your left and right are just like your left and right too in Excel. So you can always go back and watch the videos how we introduce these left and right concepts, but they are very basic. It just says how many characters from the left do you want me to slice, or how many characters from the right do you want me to slice, and of course keep. That's the characters you're interested in. So select, then we can just take same job title here. We can take just same command here, just copy this, paste it here, but now we modify this to left, and then we don't have this second arguments here, so because it takes just two, and then we can call it maybe, so let's close this one first, close it. So we can call this as maybe first character, just the first character, just like that, just any name, just to have some reference. And then now we run it. Let me run it. So I get AC, so it just took the first two left characters, so I got AC, AN, CA, AN. So this is what the left does, and if you imagine what the right would do, it would be just the opposite of that. So it would just be right, and then now we can just maybe call this last character so that we just have some coherence in the naming. And let me just call it last character. So if we run this now, we get the N instead, the NT, the ST, the EP. So we instead come in from the right. So now I'm sure you're already getting used to the string functions, and they are not complicated. Just maybe need to know what you're looking for, and then you can be able to just get the syntax right. So another thing that you might want to know, use often, is the locate. So you might want to locate some text. It's just like you're trying to find some string. So we can take, let me just write some text here. So I'll just say select locate, and then I'll just say maybe in look for days. Let's just say look for days. Look for days inside this string called 90 days of analytics, or just let's just call it 90 days challenge. 90 days challenge. So now we are trying to say, let me close this one. We are trying to say, we know that there is a string here called 90 days. So we want you to tell us the position. So at what position does days occur? So we know it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the D starts from here. So if you run this, we get 4. So it just to locate a string where it's found. So you could say, I just want to locate maybe where 0 is found. You just put the 0 here. It's just like we've seen in Excel, where you can just locate, find a specific string, substring inside a main string. So this should be familiar already, but we are just showing you how to do it in Excel. And then let's just look at the last string function, and like maybe you wanted to just replace completely what was there. So we could just say select, let's just copy this and paste here. So select replace. Now we want to replace what we have here. So replace, maybe let's just say we want to replace this. There's a string first. We have a string. This is the string. So the replace function, you have the main string, and then you have to tell us what is the pattern that you want to replace. So I want to replace this 90 days, that old text. If you were using Excel, it will be old text. So just you can always go back and refresh those things so that they become easier for you, because as soon as you learn one, and then it's easier to learn the other one. You're just drawing analogies. So here what we are saying is, let me close this one again. We are saying here that we want you to replace, there's a string called 90 days challenge. We want to change this 90 days part here. So this is what is currently existing in the old string, to become SQL. So let's run this. And so it changes from 90 days challenge to SQL challenge. So I hope you've been able to learn some of the most common string functions and also know also how to get the syntax and find your way as you continue with your research and your learning. So see you next video. Wish you good data luck.